y'all, it's Charlene from the Crafty Art Shack, and today we're going to be doing some more gnomes, and these are too cute. Just when you think that little guy couldn't get any cuter, guess what? We did another one, and we did an upgrade to one of them. So let's get to the craft desk and get started. Let's go. All right, here we are at the craft desk, and what you're going to need is you're going to need these gnomes, and they come in a 2-pack, and then you're going to need one of these little night lights that came from the Dollar Tree. Okay, you're going to need to take off his little nose, and you're going to need to take off that little stick, and both of them should pull out pretty easy because I didn't have a problem getting mine out. And then once you've got them out, then here's one I've already got ready to go. And what I did next was, looking for my scissors, hold on just a second, sorry. But you're going to take one of these little red berries, and you guys, I give my gnomes these little red berries because I think they've been cold and they're outside and their little noses are red. So what I did is I showed you that I took that berry and I cut the back side of it off. That way it would lay down in there because that's a little round piece that's in there, a piece of styrofoam. So I took the nose off that was there, and I'm going to take and put this little, yeah, I'm cutting it again. I'm showing you I'm cutting it again like y'all don't know this. Okay, so I'm going to take that berry and put some hot glue on and stick it in there, and then you're going to want to make sure you glue his little hat down around that as well. You guys, ain't he cute? Okay, he's going to get cuter as we go. I got that glue stuck on my hands again, and I got glue on me so many times. Okay, so these are 2 pieces from my leftover mop from where I made my gnomes in the last video. And if you haven't seen that video, this is the one that you'll be looking for. Okay, I started gluing down these 2 pieces of the mop head, and you're going to want to make sure that you glue them down in several different points as you're going around his little hat. Now when you get to this side of the hat, you're going to want to stop gluing them down. Now you could do this step before, or you could do this step during like I did, but I didn't decide until I was getting ready to do it that that's what I wanted to do. So what I'm doing is I'm getting a little leaf, and I'm going to take those berries. I'm making him a little pick for his hat, and I should have done this before I started gluing the other stuff down, but I didn't, and that's okay. You can do it at this point anyway. So I just stuck the little berries in between the leaves, and then I put some glue down on his hat, stuck my little berries in there, and then glued the little mop pieces over the top of it. If you glue the mop pieces down first, the problem is the berries sit above it, and it doesn't look like it's a part of his hat. So I wanted to make sure I did that. But I would actually if I made these again, I would do that first before I did this part. And then I just went around and trimmed those off and glued it down at the back. You guys, this is turning out so cute. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I decide that I don't want his little hat sitting straight up in a point, so I'm going to put some glue here, and I'm glue the little pom-pom down to the side, and then I will take and put his a little jute bow on there that came off of one of our other projects that we scavenged it from, and his little pom-pom's not staying glued down, so I put a clip on it just to hold it until I get done. And you guys, I burnt myself again with that glue, even with them fingers on. I don't know how I keep doing that, but anyway, that's that part. Now the next thing I'm going to do is take my little night light out, and I'm going to take off the light part of it, and then what I'm going to do is I'm not even going to worry about covering this up. I'm going to just make a line across my little light, and I'm going to start gluing my little leaves down to this, and the leaves are going to cover up what was on there before, so I'm not worried about it. And I'm just making sure all my leaves are glued down really good. And then I'm going to take this little mesh. This mesh is 6 inches long. I fold it in half, wrap it with a piece of jute rope. Now that's some of the, oh, it's 8 inches long. I'm sorry. Then I'm going to tie it with a little jute rope. And those jute pieces were part of the nautical rope that we used in one of our garland videos. And now I'm going to just make those pieces a part of what I'm doing. So I stick them where they face going upwards so that when I put my little gnome on here, it'll look too cute. And there's where my gnome's going to sit. So I was making sure that I had this set to one side. And I'm going to just make sure I glue this down really good. Okay, as soon as I get this little piece glued in, I just want to make sure I got that glue on me again. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is take my little gnome and I'm going to trim up his beard. And you guys, I trim up his beard a couple of times, and there's a reason why I'm doing that. Now, what I'm showing you here is I'm going to glue him down to this disc. And now when you're gluing anything to one of these night lights, because we've made a night light in another video, you want to glue the heavier piece of that you're putting on the night light towards the base where it attaches to the light, because if you don't, it will unplug from the wall constantly and you'll get aggravated with it. Now I'm going in there and I'm trimming. You want to make sure you're straight on the base with your plug. Now I'm trimming up his beard again, and I trim it up even more this time because I don't want those little furry things to get in there and get into my plug. So I'm making sure I give him a real good trim and get all of this away from anything that could go in the electrical plug, because we don't want to burn our houses down. We want to have pretty houses with pretty things, but we don't want anything to be dangerous. So the way I'm cutting his beard is first I cut it off straight, and then I went back and did that pick haircut, is what I call it, where you go in there and cut the little jagged edges. I don't know how to explain it. And I'm just checking here to make sure that nothing is around my little socket. Now, isn't he just adorable? Oh, I just love him.
These are all the people that commented in the thing below, in the comments below for Cookie. And so everybody that did got their name entered in. And we're doing the drawing right now. I'm going to hit choose. And it's Jennifer Crossley is going to be our winner. Jennifer, I'm going to need you to send me an email. And in our drop-down box in the description box is my email address. Email me, and because we need to get in touch on how to get you your gift card. So congratulations, Jennifer Crossley. You're the winner of our 250 subscriber giveaway. You guys, thank you for subscribing, and Jennifer, get in touch with us so we can get you that $20 gift card. Okay? Yeah. Let's get on with the rest of the video.
Okay, you guys, we're going to take the stick that came out. We're back at the craft desk. Going to take the stick that came out of our little gnome that we just did our nightlight with. And we are going to take this little piece of greenery that came out of one of our picks, glue it to the tip of it. And then we're going to take a little leaf and stick it on here. What we're doing is we're making a little bouquet of flowers for our gnome to hold. And this is some of that 10-inch jute rope that we had left over from the garland video. And this is a piece of 6-inch mesh. And we're going to tie this up just like we did for our little night light that we just did. And we're going to use those little pieces of jute rope also in this, just like we did with the nightlight. Okay, so I'm just going to tie this on here and have it stick out to the side, and then I'm going to take and glue that other piece facing upwards because it wants to stay down, and I'm going to glue it facing upwards so that it'll become a part of the bouquet. And then I'm going to glue that little leaf. See, there I go again with that glue. You guys, I just had that my fingers are almost numb to being glued with this glue gun, this hot glue. And we're going to glue the little leaf on there, and then we've got some little berries here. We're going to take and add those. I'm going to add another leaf to the back of it behind my little piece of greenery, so that the greenery that green mesh stands out. And then I'm going to take the berries and add them in next. And then I guess I thought y'all needed to see all of this. Like, y'all don't know how to glue all this stuff together. But if my girls are watching this video, they want me to show them step by step what goes next. So some people like to see every little step that I do, and some people like to see it in a faster version. And you can speed that up on YouTube. I didn't know that. Okay, so now I'm going to cut my little stick down, and I left about 2 inches on there. And now I'm going to take another, my berries were coming off at the bottom, had to glue them back down. Okay, so now I'm going to take another piece of that little jute rope, the other pieces that I frayed off, and I'm going to tie them on there, and I'm going to run it up, and I'm going to pull them up to the back side of my little bouquet and glue them down. And after I get through gluing these down, then you will see, voila, our little bouquet. And set the bouquet to the side. Now we're going to take our sock from the other part of the gnome, the other sock to the pear. We're going to cut these pieces off. This is the foot toe, or the toe of the foot, and I'm going to cut it off, and then I cut it in half. And then I am going to open it up, turn it inside out, and put hot glue down and glue it together. And I'm showing you I got that little piece on there. I trimmed it off just because I got to, because that's me. But you could have left it in there. When you turned it inside out, it would have helped fill it up. So I'm just, see, I got it again there. That with that hot glue, that stuff is hot. I got it all over my fingers. Okay, so I'm going to glue this down, and then I'm going to go back and turn these inside out. And you want to make sure it's all glued and nothing comes apart. Now, see, I tried to do this one too soon, and because I did, see, it opened up. So I'm just folding it back in on itself and making sure it's glued up. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get me some fiber fill. And this is about how much you need. And I divide it into pieces. And then I take and roll it up in my hands. And then I'm going to take and stuff it in there. Now these are, you could stuff this in with your fingers because this little arm is stretchy enough you can do that. And then you just glue up the tip of your ends. Now you guys, I saw somebody do this on the video, and they said it helped with their glue gun to keep that glue stick continuously going through there, but it didn't work for me. It worked for a minute, and then when it decided it was going to get stuck again, then it didn't want to go through there. Okay, so I'm rolling this up again and putting it in the other arm and stuffing the other arm. Now I did make sure that one was dry, and I'm still checking to make sure that the pieces are all glued together. And yeah, I got that glue on me again. All right, now we're going to take our little gnome, and we're going to take, I glued his hat down pretty good, so I had to find a way to make a place in there for his arm. And you're going to want to stick his little arm up in there. And then before I glue mine on, I check the other side and make sure I can get the little arm in there, because I did glue this hat on pretty good in the last video. So I can get it in there. Now what I'm going to use to stuff it in there is I have an ice pick, or that little orange thing is an ice pick. That came from Harbor Freight. Now I'm going to stick that in there and stick it up in there. And then once I get it in there, I'm going to take the ice pick and push it up in there and see how good that little ice pick works. And then now I'm looking at my arms and I'm going, oh no, I got one arm shorter than the other. I got to make sure I get this one up in there. And my glue was still hot on my arm from where I glued it together, so it wouldn't stick. So I had to cut that back off. Now I'm going to do the same thing with this one, but when you put it in there, you got to make sure that you get it the same distance that you do the other one, or he's going to have one long arm and one short arm. So I'm stuffing it up in there, and then I take my little, my husband calls them regulators, and I'm checking to see if my little arms are the same length. And if it's not, I'm going to go back and push it up in there. Now I'm going to take his little bouquet that we just made, and I'm going to put it in his hand and glue it to his hand, because he's got to have a bouquet to give his little girlfriend that's out on the skating ring. He's got to give her some flowers. So, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So I'm holding it, trying to make sure that it stays glued, and I just go ahead and I got glue on me again. I'm going to make sure that it stays stuck to his hand pretty good by putting that little clip on there until it dries. And he just adorable. Now I'm showing you that I didn't close up the holes where he had the skates on before, and so now I'm going to take those little skate pieces and stick them back in there. Now when you stick these in there, you want to make sure that they're kind of angled out a little bit. That's what helps him stand up, because if they're straight up and down with that hot glue and his weight, it wants to fall to one side, so you take and angle that skate outward. Now I'm going to cut the end of his little stick off of his bouquet, because we don't need all of that now. But you want to make sure you put enough there so that when you wrap his little hand around it, that it works. And he has plenty to grip onto, because you don't want him to not have enough. And see, I got hot glue again. And I'm just making sure his little skates are stuck on there. And then I'm going to take the leaf of his bouquet, because I want his bouquet to face outward. I'm going to take the leaf of it and glue it down there to the top of his little boot. And it only takes one leaf to make that thing turn the way you want it. And you guys, this just turned out so adorable. All right, you guys, we're back from the craft desk. We just got through making this cute little gnome nightlight, and you want to make sure that you get the one with the LED light, like I said in the video, because this is not going to get as hot. And then you want to make sure you trim his beard off so that it doesn't get stuck in your little plugs when you stick it in the socket. But isn't that cute? If you think this is cute, check out this little guy right here, over here, standing all on his own on his little skates. You guys, we added the skates, we added his arms, and we gave him a little bouquet, and I think he's just adorable. You guys, between this one and the little skiing gnome, hang on, I got him hooked up on that other one. Between this one and this one, I don't know which is cuter. I love them both. And I've not seen anybody do these. So if somebody else does these, I haven't seen it. But this is our version of them. You guys, We hope you like this episode of the Crafty Art Shack. We hope you like and subscribe. And thank you to all of our subscribers that are leaving us wonderful comments below. And to those of you who can't comment because you're watching it on the TV, we understand. And we want to thank y'all for taking the time and watching our videos. We hope you like and subscribe, and we'll see you later. Bye!
Oy vey. Is Kira a word? I don't know. We'll see. Well, I think we upgraded even to... I messed it up. And you want to make sure you trim your little gnome up so your little furry stuff doesn't get back here in your plug. Okay, that's very important. If you don't do that, I'm not responsible if your house gets burned up. I'm making things y'all can destroy your house with. Guy, isn't he adorable? Oh, I got a little furry thing hanging down. Need to make sure we get all. This is not the kicker. Kicker? Why do I say kicker? See? Ain't he cute? I forgot what I was going to say. So that he could go skating out in the middle of the skating rink and give his girlfriend the bouquet. Yeah, that's what it's called. Thank y'all for taking the time and watching our videos. We hope you like and subscribe, and we'll see you later. Bye!